What happens when you work out while fasting? You wake up. Your stomach is empty. No food anywhere near you. No breakfast, no shake, no snack, nothing but water and willpower. Most people panic at this thought. Exercise without fuel sounds dangerous. You need energy to move, right? That's what we've always been told. But what if everything you believe about this is completely wrong? What if your body actually performs better with nothing in it? What if it burns more fat and protects muscle at once? Today, we're breaking down exactly what happens during a fasted workout. We'll explain why some people feel sharper training on empty stomachs. We'll show which workouts thrive during a fast and which don't. We'll also cover how to eat once your fasting window ends. One quick note before we start diving into the actual science. This video is educational only, not a substitute for medical advice. Every single body reacts differently to stress, hunger, and physical exertion. Talk to a doctor before trying anything new like this yourself. Now, let's get into where your energy actually comes from daily. Your body stores fuel in two very different ways internally. The first is glycogen, which is glucose stored in muscle tissue. Think of glycogen as your body's fast, easy-access battery pack. Most people hold around 400 to 500 grams total. That equals roughly 1,600 to 2,000 stored calories available. This supply usually lasts somewhere between 12 and 24 hours. The second fuel source is body fat, and this gets interesting. Even lean people carry tens of thousands of calories in fat. That's enough stored energy to survive for weeks without eating anything. Your body is sitting on a massive reserve tank of fuel. Here's the catch, though. Your body always reaches for glycogen first. Glycogen burns faster and easier, so it's the default choice. As long as glycogen exists, your body ignores its fat reserves. Now here's something that will genuinely surprise most people listening today. The meal you eat before working out doesn't fuel that workout. Food sits in your stomach for 2 to 5 hours digesting. Then it moves into your intestines for 4 to 12 more. So the energy from breakfast isn't even available during your workout. The energy powering your morning session came from yesterday's food instead. That energized feeling after eating comes from hormones, not calories consumed. Your body releases hormones anticipating fuel that hasn't even arrived yet. The real energy is always pulled from your existing stored reserves. So what actually happens after 12 to 16 hours without food? Your glycogen supply starts running noticeably low across your entire system. Once glycogen becomes scarce, your body has only one real option. It switches over and starts burning fat for fuel instead. This process creates molecules called ketones, an alternative and efficient fuel. This is exactly where fasted exercise starts becoming genuinely powerful territory. There's a concept in science called metabolic flexibility worth understanding here. A healthy body should switch smoothly between burning glucose and fat, but constant eating means your body never touches its fat stores. It literally gets lazy at burning fat when glucose is everywhere. Fasted exercise retrains this switch, teaching your body real metabolic flexibility. It becomes efficient using both fuel sources depending on what's available. Now, let's look closer at what happens inside a fasted body. First, you burn significantly more fat during fasted training sessions. Without fresh glucose available, your insulin levels stay very low. Low insulin means fat is finally free to leave storage cells. A major review in the British Journal of Nutrition studied this closely. Researchers analyzed 27 separate studies covering 273 people. The conclusion was consistent. Fasted aerobic exercise burns noticeably more fat. Some studies reported 20 to 30% more fat oxidation happening. The explanation is simple. Eating raises insulin, and insulin locks fat. Fasting removes that lock, letting your body access fat stores freely. Second, growth hormone increases dramatically during fasted physical activity sessions. Growth hormone comes from your pituitary gland, a small brain structure. It repairs muscle tissue and signals fat cells to release energy. Both fasting and exercise independently trigger growth hormone release naturally. Combine them together and that effect becomes seriously amplified overall. One study followed 8 healthy men through several different testing conditions. During exercise alone, growth hormone jumped past 10 nanograms per milliliter. During 72 hours of fasting, levels tripled compared to normal. Other research recorded increases between 5 and 14 times baseline levels. Combining fasting with exercise triggers growth hormone from 2 directions simultaneously. This hormone protects muscle mass while actively promoting fat breakdown too. That's part of why fasted training often preserves muscle while cutting fat. Your body is smart. It protects muscle when food feels scarce. Muscle matters for survival, movement, and historically for finding more food. Growth hormone rises specifically to defend that valuable muscle tissue. Third, insulin sensitivity improves noticeably with consistent fasted exercise practice. Insulin sensitivity describes how efficiently your cells respond to insulin signals. High sensitivity means small amounts of insulin move glucose effectively. Low sensitivity or resistance forces your body to produce more insulin. Over time, resistance contributes to several serious long-term health problems. Exercise makes muscles more receptive to glucose even without much insulin. Fasting keeps insulin low from the very start of your session. Combine both factors and your body manages glucose far more efficiently. Research shows fasted exercise improves sensitivity more than exercising after eating. This improvement lingers for many hours following your actual workout session. For long-term metabolic health, this benefit compounds significantly over time. Fourth, mental clarity increases noticeably during and after fasted training. Many people report feeling sharper, calmer, and more focused while fasting. This isn't placebo, there's real biology explaining that mental shift. Part of this involves a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This protein, known as BDNF, supports new nerve cell growth directly. It enhances memory, learning capacity, and overall cognitive brain function. Both fasting and exercise individually raise BDNF production inside your brain. Combined together, BDNF levels may climb noticeably higher than usual. Ketones also play a major role in this mental clarity boost. Your liver produces ketones from fat once glycogen runs low enough. These ketones cross into your brain and become usable fuel there. Your brain runs remarkably well on ketones, sometimes even preferring them. Norepinephrine also rises during fasting, sharpening focus and overall alertness. It's the same chemical that fires when quick reactions become necessary. There's an evolutionary explanation underneath all of this modern science, too. Ancient humans didn't have refrigerators, grocery stores, or guaranteed daily meals. They often woke up hungry and had to hunt before eating. Weak, foggy bodies during hunger simply couldn't survive that harsh environment. Bodies that stayed sharp and strong while hungry had better survival odds. That trait got passed down through countless generations of natural selection. Your body today still carries this ancient, deeply wired programming inside. It already knows how to function well without constant food access. This isn't a flaw, it's a built-in evolutionary feature instead. Quick question, do you usually eat before or after training sessions? Now let's get practical, because not every workout suits a fast. Low to moderate intensity aerobic exercise works especially well while fasting. This includes walking, light jogging, easy cycling, or relaxed swimming sessions. Basically anything where you can still hold a normal conversation easily. This intensity level is ideal for anyone starting fasted training now. At lower intensities, your body primarily relies on burning stored fat. It barely touches glycogen, letting you sustain activity for extended periods. If you're new to this, start here before trying anything harder. Try a morning walk or gentle ride before eating your first meal. Next comes high-intensity anaerobic exercise, a very different fasting category. This includes HIIT, sprinting, max effort jump rope, or similar intensity. These workouts rely heavily on glycogen for immediate explosive energy output. After 12 to 16 fasted hours, glycogen stores are already lower. You might feel noticeably weaker during intense sessions without eating first. However, research offers some genuinely encouraging news on this exact topic. One study found participants adapted after 4 weeks on low carbohydrates. Their bodies learned to perform intense exercise using less available glycogen. Adaptation is the key factor here, so don't rush into intensity. Start light and gradually build toward harder sessions over several weeks. Finally, there's resistance training, which many people also perform while fasting. Each heavy set uses glycogen, but elevated growth hormone protects muscle. Weight training creates small tears throughout your working muscle fibers. That's actually the entire point behind productive resistance training sessions. Your body repairs those tears afterward, building stronger muscle over time. That repair process requires protein as its essential raw building material. If you stay fasted too long after lifting, recovery becomes limited. Eat a protein-rich meal within a few hours after training. Here's a simple summary for choosing your fasted exercise intensity level. Beginners should stick with low-intensity aerobic movement like easy walking. Once comfortable, gradually increase toward moderate-intensity training sessions instead. After weeks of adaptation, experiment carefully with HIIT or heavier lifting. Always listen closely to your body's actual signals throughout every session. Start light, progress gradually, and never push too hard too soon. Now, fasted exercise definitely isn't appropriate for absolutely everyone attempting it. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, this isn't the time to experiment. Your nutritional demands are significantly higher during these specific life stages. If you've struggled with eating disorders, fasted exercise could trigger relapse. Please work closely with a qualified healthcare professional in that case. If you have type 1 diabetes, fasted exercise carries real risk. Blood sugar management becomes considerably more complicated without proper medical guidance. If you have chronic kidney disease, fasting adds unnecessary additional stress. If you're underweight, you likely lack sufficient reserves for fasted training. If your medication requires food, eat regardless of any exercise plans. If you're brand new to both fasting and exercise, slow down first. Don't start both major changes at exactly the same time together. Even when fasted exercise suits you, certain warning signs mean stop immediately. Severe dizziness that doesn't improve with rest deserves your immediate attention. Heart palpitations continuing after exercise ends also warrant stopping right away. Confusion or difficulty thinking clearly is the opposite of mental clarity.
Extreme weakness during normally easy exercises signals something is genuinely wrong. Nausea or vomiting means it's time to stop and reassess immediately. If symptoms don't improve within 10 to 15 minutes, break your fast. Eat something light and consult a doctor if symptoms persist afterward. One more important point involves hydration and electrolyte balance during fasting. Fasting causes your body to lose water and minerals faster naturally. Low insulin causes kidneys to excrete more sodium and water overall. This is normal, but it means hydration requires more conscious attention. Electrolyte imbalance symptoms include fatigue, cramps, headaches, and lingering dizziness. These symptoms often get blamed on fasting when it's really dehydration. The solution stays simple. Drink plenty of water throughout your entire day. A small pinch of salt or an electrolyte supplement helps considerably. Nothing complicated is genuinely needed to manage this part correctly. So, you finished your fasted workout successfully. Now what comes next? How you refuel after breaking your fast matters just as much. Let's break this recovery process down into 3 clear, distinct phases. Phase 1 covers roughly the first 24 to 48 hours. Your digestive system is essentially restarting after its extended resting period. Insulin rises after your first meal, shifting you into storage mode. Significant energy gets redirected toward digestion and nutrient processing during this phase.
Keep exercise intensity light here, favoring walking, yoga, or gentle stretching. This isn't the time to chase personal records or push hard. Give your body room to transition smoothly back into eating mode. Phase 2 covers roughly 48 to 72 hours afterward. Glycogen stores in your liver and muscles are steadily being replenished. Full restoration typically takes 24 to 48 hours to complete. Here's something useful. Insulin sensitivity stays elevated right after fasting ends. Your body handles carbohydrates especially well during this specific refeeding window. This makes it a genuinely smart time to refuel with carbs. For exercise here, you can start increasing intensity somewhat carefully again. Light to moderate resistance training becomes appropriate during this recovery phase. Continue listening closely to your body before pushing further into intensity. Phase 3 begins around 72 hours after breaking your fast completely. By this point, glycogen stores are mostly or fully restored again. Your digestive system and hormones have stabilized back to normal function. You can return to your regular training intensity during this final phase. Avoid overcompensating for missed training by pushing extra hard right away. Ease back into full intensity over your first couple of sessions. Finally, let's talk specifically about protein timing after completing a fast. Your body enters an optimal state for building and repairing tissue. Insulin sensitivity stays elevated, helping protein absorb more efficiently overall. Growth hormone remains elevated for 24 to 48 hours afterward. This creates an ideal environment for genuine muscle protein synthesis afterward. But your body still needs actual raw materials to work with. Prioritize high-quality protein sources during your first meals after fasting. Eggs, fish, meat, legumes, or yogurt all work perfectly well here. Spread your protein intake evenly throughout the day instead of loading it. Your body can only process so much protein in one sitting. Distributing intake evenly consistently produces noticeably better long-term results overall. Let's bring everything we've covered together into one clear final picture. Exercising while fasting isn't reckless, crazy, or inherently dangerous when done properly. Your body was genuinely designed to function well without constant food.